Good morning, church. In a minute we're going to have our Bible story, but I just want to check before we have the story that we know all the words that are going to come up in this story, particularly for some of our younger people. So let's have a look at some of the words in today's Bible reading. Here's one. Sabbath. I'm sure you all know what that means. Sabbath is the Jewish special day, like our Sunday, when people go and listen to the Bible reading on the Sabbath. And where do Jewish people go to hear the Bible being read? To the synagogue. That's like Jewish church. So on the Sabbath, people go to the synagogue. Now in today's story, there was a Sabbath day when Jesus went to the synagogue and started teaching about God. And in the middle of him speaking, a man jumped up and interrupted him. This man had an impure spirit, and Jesus made him better. So what is an impure spirit? Well, whatever has happening to this man, he was really not well. He was really poorly. But Jesus is amazing, isn't he? And he can make us better from anything, whether it's our emotions or our bodies or our minds that are suffering. Jesus can make us better. Can you think of any stories where Jesus made people better? I bet you can. Jesus made people able to walk when they couldn't before, or see when they'd been blind, and he even made a couple of dead people come back to life. Jesus can do anything because he has God's authority. That means, what does authority mean? It means being in charge or having power, doesn't it? Can you think of any people that you know who are in charge or have power? People in authority? What about policemen and women? They have authority, don't they? What about doctors and nurses? When we're poorly, they're the ones in charge, aren't they? They have authority. Let me see, who else can I think of? What about when you're in school? Your teachers, they have authority. They have control of the classroom, hopefully, and teach you lots of things that they have the right to teach you because they are in charge. And what about kings and queens and politicians? They have a lot of authority in their country, don't they? They're in charge and they have power. So Jesus had authority from God, which meant he had the power to do amazing things. He has power over everything in the whole world, doesn't he? He has power over death and life and sickness, and he has the authority to tell us who God is and what God is like. So while our Bible story is happening today, perhaps you could grab yourself a sheet of paper and a pen and listen to the Bible story. And every time you hear about a group of people or a person, think about what they're feeling. And then can you draw an emoji about that feeling? So if someone in the story is shouting out and is angry, draw an angry emoji. If somebody is shocked, draw a shocked emoji. See how many different feelings you can spot in our story today and how many different emojis you can draw about today's Bible reading. Now, hopefully some of you will have also got this week's activity sheet, and you can fill that in while you're listening to Kathy's sermon. If you haven't, it doesn't matter. Can you maybe draw a picture of today's Bible story? But I want you to keep listening to what Kathy has to say in her sermon, because she is going to be telling us about the authority that we have when we belong to Jesus. So keep your ears tuned in.